Blog Talk Radio.
Yes. Here. Beginning the fourth, the count right here, counting of the Omer, counting of the growth, up to the harvest time. So we've completed 3 weeks, 3 Shabbats, as it says, count 7 Shabbats complete. So right here, we're at the 33rd degree sabbatical study, last reading here from the 3rd book, known as Leviticus, the handbook of the priests, where we should get into pattern, a key to the fellow disciples, pattern recognition. You know, the patterns, looking at the patterns from the old covenant to the new covenant, also the patterns, you know, the 7 times 7. Yes, the 7 times 7 for the harvest, 7 times 7 for the Jubilee. But right here, Monday podcast, here's from the True Church and the Professing Ethiopian Orthodox Tawato Church. Here's from the True Church of His Majesty, what is said here from Mondays to Fridays, or from the 2nd day to the 6th day. Here. Shema'a.
Andenya. Kasenyo iska arb baluta kenoch zawater yemibal. Said on the days from Monday to Friday. Salam lanchi hun inatachin kavrit beta Christian. Gdawochish bepazion inqu yetegetu nacho. Salam lanchi hun inatachin kavrit beta Christian. Peace be to you, our mother, O honorable church. Thy walls are embroidered with topaz. Peace, salam, shalom be to thee, our mother, O honorable church.
Yes. Got to know the true church. You know, according to the teachings of our Lord and Savior and the true apostles of our Lord and Savior. And we're members of that body, you know, as He is the Ras, the Rosh, as He is the head. Here. Greetings. So greetings one to another, you know, the members of the body, greeting one another in spirit and in truth. Right here. Here is Salam Ta. Peaceful greetings. We say Ethiopian fraternal greetings, peaceful greetings. Salam ta. Here, Ras Jani, Jany. Check him out, Ras Jani. Native brother Rastafari. Here, Salam ta.
ከጃን ሜዳ አውቶቡሱ ተራንስቶ ከመርካቶ መንጋ ተራ ቄራ ፓሪስ እስከ ላፍቶ ከፈረንሳይ ሰላም ካለ ከቀበና ከጦር ኃይሎች መካኒሳ ከአየር ጤና ከጉለሌ ኮልፌ አቃቂ ቃሊቲ አስኮ ሰላም ካለ ከልደታ ከሜክሲኮ
Yes, here in the count, the sevens, 2 sevens right here. As we said, this is counting the fourth week here, second day, completed 3 Shabuas until the time of harvest. In the old covenant sense, the harvest of the land. In the new covenant sense, the harvest of the spirit in man. Get into more details as we move forward here. Culture, 2 sevens, the theme coming in.
business shall enter radio through. And so it is until now. Forget it being locked. Say what? What I live on my head. 22/7 flash. What I live on my head. 22/7 flash. Ibita, bita, bita. What I live on my head. 22/7 flash. A man I go feel it. What I live on my head. 22/7 flash. You better do right. What I live on my head.
Yes, yes, harvest, harvest, harvest time, harvest season. So right here, evening psalm here for the second day. We have Psalm 48, the evening psalm for the second day. Yes, Rastafari.
Rastafari. Africa is a must. So nobody post now cause. You have to jump on this bus. Zion born, right?
Psalm 48.
מזמור מ"ח, שיר מזמור לבני קורח.
Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in the mountain of his holiness. Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth, is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great King. God is known in her palaces for a refuge. For lo, the kings were assembled. They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. Fear took hold upon them there, and pain as of a woman in travail. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God. God will establish it forever. Selah. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O God, in the midst of thy temple. According to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. Walk about Zion and go round about her. Tell the towers thereof. Mark ye well her bulwarks. Consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. For this God is our God forever and ever. He will be our guide forever, 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 forever.
מזמור מ"ח, שיר מזמור לבני קורח. גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, בעיר אלוהינו הר קודשו. יפה נוף משוש כל הארץ, הר ציון ירכתי צפון, קריית מלך רב. אלוהים בארמנותיה נודע למשגב, כי הנה המלכים נועדו, עברו יחדיו. המה ראו כן תמהו, נבהלו נחפזו. רעדה אחזתם שם, חיל כיולדה. ורוח קדים תשבר אוניות תרשיש. כאשר שמענו כן ראינו, בעיר אדוני צבאות, בעיר אלוהינו. אלוהים יכונניה עד עולם סלע. דימינו אלוהים חסדך בקרב היכליך. כשמך אלוהים כן תהילתך על כתבי ארץ, צדק מלאה ימינך. ישמח הר ציון, תגלנה בנות יהודה למען משפטיך. שובו ציון והקיפוה, ספרו מגדליה. שיטו לבכם לחילה, פסגו ארמנותיה. למען תספרו לדור אחרון, כי זה אלוהים אלוהינו עולם ועד, הוא ינהגנו על מות.
Here, Queen Marketer. I am Shem. Here on Discipline Rhythm.
Taken from the land of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horns of Africa, I am Israel. Taken from the land of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horns of Africa, I am Israel. Abraham had a night vision of future posterity, but stubborn disobedience and suffered the curse of captivity. 400 years twice over was the prophecy. Kidnapped from Africa, sold as a slave, but my home is in the east. Taken from the lands of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horns of Africa, I am Israel. Taken from the lands of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horns of Africa, I am Israel. From a hunter, into the African bush, sold by my Ishmaelite and Hamitic brothers. Jerusalem fell under siege from the perils of war. I was forced to flee, sought refuge on African shores. If I forget the old Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its cunning. If I forget the old Jerusalem, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I forsake thee, oh Mount Zion, woe be unto my soul. If I forget Jerusalem, chief of my joy.
Yes, that tune right there, I am Shem. That last part there from Psalm 137. Psalm 137, verse 5, the Hay verse, Im eshkachek Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, Im eshkachek Yerushalayim. Im eshkachek Yerushalayim. Let my right hand forget her cunning. Tishkach Yemini. Tishkach Yemini. That psalm right there in Queen Makada's I Am Shem, disciple, rhythm. That's Psalm 137, Mizmor Kof, Lamed Zain, the 5th verse. The psalm is an interesting psalm. It's seen among the ruins of Jerusalem, among the ruins of Yerushalayim. Once again, that verse there in the Ivrit, in the Hebrew, Im eshkachek Yerushalayim, tishkach Yemini. If I forget thee, Im, if, eshkachek, Im eshkachek Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. Let my right hand forget her cunning, or let her forget tishkach Yemini. That verse there, powerful tune right there. What does it mean? If I forget thee, speaking to Yerushalayim, Im eshkachek, not in the sense of abandoning memories of the city, but becoming unmindful of what was due from them in respect of it, of her, of the city, of the consciousness. To have acceded to the request would be contempt of what they must hold sacred, what they must hold set apart. It's an interesting psalm right here, that's Psalm 137. Her cunning, right? Her cunning. It's interesting right here within the verse, right? That's not in the Hebrew, really. That's not in the Hebrew. That's kind of brought out in the translation. The Ivrit, the Hebrew, the scriptural Sefer Tehillim, Ivrit, it says tishkach, from shakach, to forget, tishkach, like she forgetting, tishkach, Yemini, the Yemen is the right hand, Yemini, my right hand. But it's forcefully, in a sense, added, right? It's forcefully added to the psalm, often in translation. And then we had the sixth verse, right? Tidbak, Lishoni, Lechiki, let my tongue, the Lishoni, my tongue, cleave, or in the Hebrew, the sense of it is like almost like stick, right? Stick, Tidbak, right? Dabak, to stick, Tidbak, right? Let my tongue, Tidbak, Lishoni, Lechiki, right? To like it's like that roof of the mouth, right? The roof of my mouth, right there, to my mouth's roof. What we have here, may I lose all power to speak, or to sing, or to chant Isis. Tidbak alishoni lechiki. And it goes on to say, if I remember thee not, im lo ezikr reini, im lo, right, like if not, ezikreini, like I forgetting, right? If I like don't remember, right? If I don't remember, right, thee, if I forget, if I'm not remembering thee, literally, if not remembering thee, im lo ezikreiki, right? Here is the sense of that love and that reverence. Then it says this, it's in the concluding, if I set not Jerusalem, above my chiefest joy, im lo. Im lo is almost like if not, to say almost like if not, im lo. Im like if, lo, if not. Im lo, a'ele, to Allah, like to lift up, right? Et Yerushalayim. If I don't like lift up, if I don't lift up Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. And here, one of my things is just speaking about the physical city, but there's more in the Hebrew sense of this. In the Hebrew sense, it's just among the faithful, it even has that Brit Chadasha sense, right? That Jerusalem is not really so much just a place. That's from the carnal temporal mind, right? But in the grace, right, it's that consciousness, that Jerusalem consciousness, right? And we can get into a little bit more for ones who have the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Just look up Jerusalem. That comes very close to that, the Hebrew, the inner, right? The inner meaning of the faithful Hebrew interpretation. Im lo a'eleh et Yerushalayim, all upon all on all rosh, on the rosh, on the ras, the head, all rosh, above the head, simchati, above the head, simchati of my joy, above the head of my joy, the sense in translation, my chiefest, sense of my chiefest joy. So to set, right, to set, and setting Jerusalem, this consciousness, right, above the head of my joy, the chiefest, the first, the chiefest of my joy. Im lo eleh et Yerushalayim al rosh simchati, giving Jerusalem, this consciousness, first place in grace, in the experiences that afford me, right, that grant I, that afford I happiness. So to the Jerusalem theme right here, Chabarim. Since we went into this right here, just right here at this time of the, second day podcast, we would like to bring this a little bit more forward right here. Since we are in the Brit Kadash, or the new covenant time, as we say, from low degrees or from groundation, right? Building from the groundation. Here, let's bring this up right here, see if we can bring this out right here, the metaphysics, so that one might think we're just talking about physical place, right? Those who have fallen from the real spiritual grace might think that it's only a so-called physical place. Like we say, where's Israel? Yisrael. Yisrael is the people, right? Not the place. You know what I mean? So basically, wherever the people are placed, right? Because they're there, that's Israel, not under our authority and rule, right? But understanding the inner meaning there. We're looking up in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. I think this will actually bring it forward even more fully right here. Let's see where we're at right here in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Might have to get the hard copy right here, just so we can scroll to it. We're using the PDF. That means we have to go to every Jerusalem, every Jerusalem marking. But hold this right here.
In Mount Zion, yeah, with King Alpha and Queen of Father and Mother of creation.
Yes. Give thanks. Here, Jerusalem. Here, Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, to bring out this part of Queen Malka Machedah, of her song, the I Am Shem disciple discipline rhythm. The discipline rhythm right there. The last part is verses 5 and 6 from Mizmor Kof Lamed Zayin, from Psalm 137, that's seen among the ruins of Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. So here, what and where is Jerusalem? Since these two verses, they focus on Yerushalayim, focus on Jerusalem. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. Actually, the Hebrew is more forcible in the sense of, may my right hand forget. May my right hand forget. Im eshkacheka Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini. Let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. Tidabak, lishoni, lechiki. If I remember thee not, im lo, ezikareki, If I set not Yerushalayim, im lo a'eleh et Yerushalayim, if I do not lift up Yerushalayim, the sense of a'eleh, 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 if I don't aliyah, if I don't cause it to lift up, al rosh, simchati, al rosh, on the head or above the head, al rosh, rosh Hebrew for ras, the head, simchati, simchati, my joy, my chiefess, the head of my joy. So what is Yerushalayim? Not to get into full right here, but see how the Spirit guides. You know, we didn't have this so much planned, but as we heard that tune right there, I am Shem, my Queen Makeda, and the Hebrew there, and also the narrative. You know, I'd like to even play that one again before we move forward right here. Chabarim, I friends. Yerushalayim, habitation of Shalom. Yeru, Shalem, right? Yerushalayim, Shalayim, Salem is Salem, because it's plural of Salam, right? But Shalayim, right? Habitation of peace, and peace in a dual sense, like some might say in the New Covenant sense, peace with God and peace with man, right? Peace above, peace below. Even some might say the true cross, our vertical relationship with Abba Father, Sheba Shemayim, and that horizontal relationship with our fellow human being. Habitation of peace, dwelling place of peace, possession of peace, foundation of peace, constitution of harmony, vision of peace, abode of prosperity, or some ways that the Hebrew sense of Yerushalayim might be brought out into translation or interpretation. Now here, Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, first it gives us the phi cycle, first part of the definition of the phi cycle, the natural temporal side, the capital city, some say of Palestine or the Levant or Canaan or later on Israel. In Abraham's time, it was called Shalem. You see it in the English, they have it as Salem. In Genesis 14:18, it was called Jebus. It was called Yebus Salem, Jerusalem, from the tribe of the Jebusites, right? Later, when it was inhabited and ruled by the Jebusites, according to Judges 19:10, First Chronicles 1:4. The first time that is mentioned in the Bible as Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, is in Joshua, Yehoshua 10:1. In Revelation 21:2, it is used symbolically to describe the redeemed state of man. So when the Barit Chadash is sent here, it says in Revelation 21:2, it is used symbolically to describe the redeemed state of man. Now the meta right here, just to touch on a little bit of the meta, it's at least almost, it's a couple of reads right here, but just to get a groundation here, meta, Yerushalayim means the habitation of peace. We will update that based on our knowledge and the Holy Spirit impartation, the habitation of peace in the sense of the duality of peace, with God and man peace, above and below peace. In man, because dual, shalayim, in man, it is the abiding consciousness of spiritual shalom, peace. That is the result of continuous, itinuous realizations of spiritual power, tempered with spiritual poise and confidence, Godfidence, if you please. Jerusalem is the, quote, city of David that symbolizes the great nerve center just back of the heart. Now, in the metaphysical terms, right, combined with what we have in the scripts, Jerusalem is called, quote, the city of Dawid. Dawid, well beloved, the loving Dawid from Dawid in Hebrew, that symbolizes the great nerve center just back of the heart. From this point, Ruach, spirit, sends its radiance, its illumination radiance to all parts of the body. The wall that Nehemiah's men, representing the spiritual thoughts, were building around Jerusalem in Nehemiah Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 17. Now, this picks up on where we were before, and heal up Sister Sharon for that reason, that question that came forward. What was it on Psalm? Was 126, right? And bringing out, the historical context when that remnant had returned after the 70 years and the previous Torah reading and feeding as well. That speaks on the Shemitah year every 7 years, and then also on the Jubilee year and what was to be done, and how the land, right, was deprived of her Sabbaths, her Shabbats, and how Yahweh says that, well, the Judeans, southern kingdom of Judah, went into the Babylonian captivity for 70 years, and those 70 years were for the 70 Shemitot, the 70 years of release, where the land was to enjoy that rest, that rest. So here, this is a connection because the background of that was Ezra and Nehemiah. And so here we have the wall of Nehemiah's men representing the spiritual thoughts that when they was building that wall right around Jerusalem, Nehemiah 4:17. This here, metaphysically, in the Brit Hadasha sense, new covenant, renewed covenant sense, symbolizes in individual consciousness protecting spiritual substance. That limited era thoughts cannot penetrate. So building that wall was to prevent the limited era thoughts, right, not to penetrate into that spiritual substance that Jerusalem represents. This wall, I call it like the firewall, iritically in the New Covenant sense, that firewall. This wall is built by our realization, and that overstand that realization of the enduring strength and stability of, it said, omnipresent spiritual substance, the omnipresent substance of the Ruach, the Menfes, even the Menfes Kedus. The rebuilding of the wall of Jerusalem under the direction of Nehemiah can also be said to symbolize the balancing of the negative and positive forces of the soul, the psyche, the nefesh consciousness. I'm speaking on the soul, the psyche, the nefesh, right? This equalization will result in the renewing and the spiritualizing, right, of the whole, the entire organism, the carbon, organic, the spirit, soul, and body. Man is a trinity, yeah? A feast in Jerusalem. Remember in John's Gospel, Yohanan, in John chapter 5, verse 1, there was a feast in Jerusalem, in Jerusalem. This, according to the Brit Hadasha, right, the discipleship, the spiritual, consciousness the Messiah was teaching them and us, is a receptive state of mind toward all spiritual tawab, all spiritual good, all good of the ruach, the spirit, the iris. When we get down deep into the silent recesses of our soul, our nefesh, we realize a stillness and a sweetness beyond expression. This is now reminding us of Gormawi Negusin and Guest, I Godfather and King of Kings. Something that he says that where are we to turn to for answers to questions that have never been asked before. He said, first you must turn to the Almighty, and then like into the depths of our own soul. And here it says when we get deep down into the silent recesses of our own soul, our own psyche, we realize a stillness and a sweetness beyond expression. There is a great shalom or peace there. It's what Philippians 4:7, I think, speaks on peace, the peace of Elohim, of God, that passeth all understanding and overstanding, and fills the whole being with satisfaction. This is the point in consciousness where the inflow of original substance takes place. The substance center is physically a nerve center just back of the stomach. Spiritually, it is the soul's realization of the unfailing substance of the divine mind. The divine mind, you could also say the Holy Spirit, the divine mind. The one way to Jerusalem, the city of peace, is the Moshiach, the Christos, the anointed, the Christ way. The one way to Jerusalem, the city of Shalom, is the Moshiach way, is the King's highway. Perfect expression of all the mental faculties. Now, metaphysically speaking, right, the mental faculties here in light of the gospel, the new covenant, represented by the disciples, right, the disciples. And we have these mental faculties that the disciples represent under the dominion of the Ehyeh, of the I am, the expression of Yahweh himself to his being, the Ehyeh, the I am. We can see this in Luke 17:11, Luke 17:11. We all long for the state in that we shall have shalom. Yeru, right, the first part of Jerusalem means founding, constituting. Salem or Shalaim, the latter part of the word means peace, quiet, safety, harmony, prosperity, but something that the metaphysical Bible doesn't bring out right here. But understand the Hebrew Shalaim is dual. It's a dual form of peace, right? Dual form of peace. So it's peace in that doubling sense, right? And often we liken this to what the Gospels teach us, that peace with Elohim and that peace with man, right? That vertical relation peace and that horizontal relationship peace, right? That would represent in its typology the true cross. We are on the way to the attainment of shalom when we identify ourselves with HaMoshiach, the idea, the thought. Originally, right, according to Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, called Yahweh or Jehovah, the Ehyeh, the I am. Yeshua's going to Jerusalem in Matthew 20:17. It means taking the last step in unfoldment, preparatory to the final step when the personality is entirely crucified and HaMoshiach and the Messiah triumphs, the anointed triumphs. Yeshua's riding out from near Bethphage into Jerusalem. It signifies progressive unfoldment, the fulfillment of the time when the spiritual I am, the Ehyeh, takes control and lifts all the animal forces of man into the spiritual plane of mastery, purity, and shalom, peace. It is the season for transmutation or transformation. This is backed up in the Gospels by Matthew chapter 21, verses 1 to 9. Matthew chapter 21, verses 1 to 9. Truth is first conceived in the heart of man, of the human being. Of that, Jerusalem is the symbol. But because of intellectual dominance, it drifts to the Rosh. It drifts to the head, the Rosh, the head, the Ras. It drifts to the head. Of that, Rome is the symbol. Now, over this right here. Let's put this into context right here where it says, above my chiefest joy, if I set not Jerusalem above my chiefest joy, im lo ele et Jerusalem arosh simchati, right there, above the head of my joy. So here where it says that Jerusalem, right, is the symbol, but because of intellectual dominance, it drifts to the head. Of that, Rome is the symbol. We have to understand this within the outfolding and the unfolding, right, over 1900 years of the word, the true word of revelation. Paul, right, Paulos, Rabbi Shaul called Paul, taken to Rome in chains, is a fitting symbol of truth. Truth captured by the intellectual, by the intellect, and confined to the bonds that it has placed upon itself. This, we find this in Acts of the Apostles, chapter 28, verses 14 to 20. Jerusalem, the holy city, in Matthew 23, verses 37 to 39. What does this represent? Matthew for the Talmudim, fellow disciples, Matthew chapter 23, verses 37 to 39. Take note, take note. This represents Jerusalem, the holy city, represents the love center in consciousness. Physically, it is the cardiac plexus. The heart plexus, the cardiac plexus. Its presiding genius, right, is John the Mystic, right, who leaned his head, Rosho, Rasu, his head, on the master's bosom. The loves and hates of the mind. The loves and hates of the mind are precipitated to this ganglionic receptacle of thought and are crystallized there. Its substance is sensitive, tremulous, and volatile. Its substance is sensitive, tremulous, and volatile. What we love and what we hate here build cells of joy or of pain. Again, what we love and what we hate here builds cells of joy or of pain. In the divine order, it should be the abode of the good, Hatov, and the pure, Naki, right? But because of the error, the chet, let's say the error, the sin, falling short, the error concepts of the mind, it has become the habitation of wickedness, of the Rasha, and Rishaim, of defiance to Yahweh, truth and life. Yeshua said this in Matthew chapter 15, verses 18 to 20. Out of the heart come forth ra'ah, thoughts, evil, unkind, harmful thoughts. In the regeneration, truth, emet, in the Hebrew, emet, like the name Emmett Till, the word emet is truth, symbolized by Paul in Acts chapter 21, verses 13 to chapter 22, verse 1. He visits this holy place for the purpose of redeeming it, purchasing it back, buying it back to Yah's way. But truth finds the very center of vain religious thought, ha-hekal, the temple, right, given over to bigotry and intolerance, a citadel of crystallized thoughts about religious matters, or I would say about vain religious matters. Truth must enter ha-hekal, must enter the temple, or nowadays even the church, right, and speak the word that frees. We all want or should desire truth and the help that comes from it. But when it is presented to us, to I and I, what often happens? We object, right? We object to the broad, universal spirit, ruach, that it proclaims. This message about to be bigger, right? Not owing our allegiance, to nations, but to our fellow human beings. This is especially the case if our so-called religious training or vain religious training has been narrow and moreover pharisaical. Now, HaYehudim, the Judeans of the Moshiach's time, they were taught that they were the chosen people and that all others were, they call it barbarians or heathen, right? This is the foundation of the ancient system known as the caste system. When man begins in thought to believe, believe himself better than other men, he makes a place in his body that is the dwelling of this thought of superiority. Next, this separation extends to environment. So first within, then extends to the environment. Separation in a physical sense follows. Temples are built with partitions. And whoever dares to transgress these walls, they meet opposition. It's interesting because opposition, just as a principle, as a word, is called Satan. Just as a word, Satan. And follow the spooky stuff, Satan, opposition. When truth comes to one who is in this fixed state of mind, there is a tumult in the Haykal. Remember the tumult in the temple? Fear, phobia, false evidence appearing real. That the rights and the customs of the church will be interfered with is uppermost. The teachings of those in authority and the customs and beliefs of the past are of more weight than reason and logic. And logic truly is from the logos. In the beginning was the word, right? The logos. And innovation in methods of thought is resisted. The whole religious nature is moved. The whole religious nature is moved. Thought runs to meet thought. And a concentration of resistance is set up in the mind that forces truth right out and closes the doors. As described in the 30th verse, Let's look at the Paul part right there. That was pointing to Acts 21, verse 13 to 22, verse 1. Now, just a little more. Many people wonder why they do not develop divine love more quickly. Many people wonder why they do not develop the divine, the true godly, the divine love more quickly. Here is the reason. They make a wall of separation between Ha-Yehudi and Ha-Goy. They make a separation between the Jew and the Gentile, between the so-called religious or the really just and the secular, between the so-called good and the so-called bad. Between what was the tree about? The tree is about Tov Ra, right? Divine love, Ahaba, Fikah, sees no such difference between persons. It is principle, as we say, as we was told by the Holy Spirit, we share with y'all, principle over personality, and make it start at home. It is principle, and it feels its own perfection everywhere. It feels the same in the heart of the sinner as in the heart of the saint. When we allow this truth into our hearts and pull down all walls of pseudo-separation, we shall manifest the flow of the infinite love, the true love of God. When we cast truth from our hearts and seek to kill it, the secular realms, the world flesh and the seclorum, the secular realms of thought, also put it in bonds. The ruling intellect sees in it an assassin who has been inciting a revolt against the intellectual authority. This ruler, this archon, as the Gnostic call it, the archon, that's a Greek word that means a ruler. This archon of the mind has little respect for religion, right? Religio, religion, right? But has a mighty awe of the rights of a Roman citizen. You see that part where Paul, right? He claimed to be a Roman citizen. A lot of the tribes, the Israelites, some of them will go against Paul. They get this all confused, all twisted, right? Because, it's like they oppose him like the ones opposed him there. This is a good point that's brought out right here. Just to go over this point right here, the ruler, the archon, right, of the mind has little respect for religion, but has a mighty awe of the rights of a Roman citizen. It's an interesting concept that Rome really didn't care about really the religion, right? But it's its own power, intellectual authority. So when it learns that truth represented by Paulos, Rabbi Shaul, he is both a Yehudi and he's a Goy. He's both a Yehudi, a Judahite, but also Gentile, Jew and Gentile. Common, get this, common to both head and heart, to both the Rosh and the Lev. It gives due respect. That's what a lot of people they miss when they read that part. Oh, Paul claims to be a Roman. He was then Roman. Romans wrote the whole thing, all that nonsense, all that cray-cray. Nah, it wasn't like that. You're just not getting, the inner aspect of what really was going on. Because when that ruler, talking about Rome, right, learned that truth, Paul is both a Yehudi and a Gentile. It's like many of us, aren't we? We say we're Israelite. But then say, give me your ID. You're going to have some American Gentile ID or British or some other ID. You know what I mean? Where is the ID that says I'm Yehudi? Is both Yehudi and Gentile common to both, but this is now common to both head and heart. It gives due respect. That goes to show that truth is safer. Truth is safer in the bonds of skepticism and infidelity than with the bigotry and fanaticism of ignorant religious zeal. This is this point right here. This point right here that truth is safe. Remember when Yeshua was brought by his own so-called peeps, right, before the Roman, the Roman ruler there, Pontius Pilate. They were having this reasonment, and then. He says, well, you're a king. And he said, well, you say that, they say that, but this is the reason I was born. He said, I'm not king, all that cray stuff. He's the prince of life. He's the prince of the kings of the earth. He don't have to be king, right? Talking about Yeshua, right? Because he's the prince of life, the prince of the kings of the earth. He told Pilate that y'all say this. The people who were trying to get him killed were saying that. So to bring him into conflict with Rome. But he said, for this reason was I born. Right? I'm here to be a witness to the truth. And guess what Pilate said to him? He said, what is truth? It was an interesting meditation, but you see how this point right here says this goes to show that truth is safer in the bonds of skepticism and infidelity. Right? Like when it says that prophet is without respect, without any honor, among his own, that truth is safer in the bonds of those who are skeptical, right? And even infidels, wasn't Pilate, no doubt an infidel, probably, at that time his wife was turning a believer, but he was still there. Notice after that scene when he said that he's not here to be no king, you know what I mean? He's here to bear witness to the truth. And then Pilate, he asked, what is truth? Think about it. The thing that Yeshua, the Moshiach, shared in common with, generally speaking, the Gentiles, with all their badness, their wickedness, they still were about this truth thing. They love a good reason about truth. So Pilate even turned to him, what is truth? And notice, according to the script, Yeshua, he was bearing witness to the truth, just in his being. And the next thing, when you see the scene after that, Pilate is trying to get him off of these charges. Check it. So truth is safer in the bonds of skepticism and infidelity. When Yeshua was among the publicans and the harlots and the other bad people, right? Notice, we don't hear that about them trying to kill him, whatever. Or he's around the religious folks, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Then the bigotry and fanaticism of ignorant religious zeal. Now, final point right here on the Yerushalayim. Once again, give thanks, Queen Monica, for that tune. I am Shem. Yeah. I am Shem. The quote, New Yerushalayim, the New Jerusalem of Revelation 21:2, is spiritual consciousness. And it is founded on the 12 fundamental ideas of the divine mind, each represented by one of these precious stones. It also represents an association of all people in shalom, based on spiritual understanding, overstanding, purity, and a willingness to be united, to become one with Moshiach, with the anointed. Quote, made ready as a bride adorned for her husband. There. Once again, Give thanks, Queen Makada, but once again, the I am Shem. Listen to the lyrics, because some of you like, well, we ham. Check out the lyrics. Understand, Shem means the name. Shem means name. Shem means name. Here, Queen Makada.
Taken from the land of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horn of Africa, I am Israel. Taken from the land of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horn of Africa, I am Israel. Abraham had a nice vision of future prosperity, but stubborn disobedience and suffered the curse of captivity. 400 years twice over was the prophecy. Kidnapped from Africa, sold as a slave, but my home is in the east. Taken from the land of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horns of Africa, I am Israel. Taken from the land of Ham, but I am Shem. Stolen from the horns of Africa, I am Israel. From a hunter into the African bush, sold by my Ishmaelite and Hamitic brothers. Jerusalem fell under siege from the perils of war. I was forced to flee, sought refuge on African shores. If I forget the old Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its cunning. If I forget the old Jerusalem, let my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth. If I forsake thee, oh Mount Zion, woe be unto my soul. If I forget Jerusalem, chief of my joy. The chief of my joy, chief of my joy is Jerusalem. Imeshkakea Jerusalem, Kishkat Yamini. Imeshkakea Jerusalem, Tibak Lashoni. Imlo Ale et Jerusalem, was Simchati. Oh, Imeshkakea Jerusalem, Tishkat Yamini. Imeshkakea Jerusalem, Tibak Lashoni. Imlo Ale et Jerusalem, was Simchati. Oh, Imeshkakea Jerusalem.
Yes. So do remember, Yahushua.
We don't care who likes it or not, as long as we know it's the truth.
Every law is illegal.
Every government upon the face of this earth today is illegal.
go up at Jerusalem one more time. Come we go up at Jerusalem one more time. We have to pray, yes we have to pray. We have to pray for the judgment day. So come we go up at Jerusalem one more time. Men see their dreams and aspirations crumble in front of their face, and all of their wicked intentions to destroy the human race. Oh, I believe, oh, I believe, oh, I believe in reggae music, reggae music. Come we go out of Ethiopia one more time. By Ethiopia one more time. We are go pray, yes we are go pray. We are go sing music only night and day. So come we go by Ethiopia one more time. You're the key. Talk to who? Speak to me. You bring the voice of the Rastaman to communicate with everyone. And so I know, and that's how I know, and that's how I know. It's reggae music. Dreams and aspirations crumble in front of their face. All of their wicked intentions to destroy the human race. Oh, oh, I believe, and that's how I know, and that's how I know. It's reggae music. Reggae music, it's reggae music, it's reggae music.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, but here, the New Jerusalem too. More reasoning on that right there. But here, for the second day of the Shabbat, here, the 33rd sabbatical study for Bechukotai, in my statutes. What is a statute? Here we have Bechukotai, right here. And one theme is the question of obedience, the basic first words right here. First words. Let's go through some first words here, and then we'll go through the first and the second aliyot right here. Being the second day, there's 7 readings and often 7 readers. So here for the second day, the first and the second aliyot coming forward. But here, first words right here. Bechukotai, 33rd sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong. Bechukotai. In my statutes. Here, question of obedience. This 33rd sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong. Hebrew first words here. Im bechukotai, teleku, ve'eta mitzvotai, tishmeru, asitem otam. If you trod in my statutes, in bechukotai teleku. If y'all trod, right, from the halak sense, to go, halak, like to trod, halak. Here we have teleku, speaking like to you all, y'all. If, be, in, chukotai, my statutes, sometimes brought on translation as my ordinances, my decrees, bechukotai, if in my statutes, literally, if in my statutes y'all walk, bechukotai teleku. So we have chukah, a statute, a decree, and the I at the end. Chukotai, my statutes, my ordinances. With et mitzvotai. Right? Some say ve'eta mitzvotai, but the more ancient pointing with and et mitzvotai. Now the et is a direct object marker, right, in the Hebrew. Yes, you know the aleph, the tau, right, and we can read that into the Hebrew on a mystic level, but on the grammatical level, the et, right, is a direct object marker, right? In other words, if you walk in what? If you walk bechukotai, my statutes, in bechukotai teleku, we're an et mitzvotai, and mitzvotai, from the ava, which means to command, and we have mitzvah. Some will say mitzvah, which is a commandment, right? But here, mitzvotai, my commandments. Tishmeru, to guarding and keeping, observing. Tishmeru, we'eta mitzvotai tishmeru. Tishmeru from the Hebrew shamar, like to guard, to keep. Translated often as to observe, right? To observe. And my commandments you will keep. So walking the chukotai, trotting in my statutes, chukot, and keeping my commandments, observing my commandments. Ve'eta mitzvotai tishmeru, wa asitem, to asa, to do, to make, the sense of to fulfill. Wa asitem otam means them, otam, right? Wa asitem otam, and doing, and y'all doing them, and y'all fulfilling them. So here the Hebrew first words right here for this 33rd degree sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong, this Shavua right here. We have bechukotai. Full of the sentence, if you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them. Walking in the statutes, keeping, observing the commandments and doing them. and doing them. Im bechukotaya teleku, we'eta mitzvotaya tishmeru, wa asitem otam. Right here. Hebrew first words here, writing up to the first and second aliyot here. Here we're at the last reading here in the third book of Moshe, the Hebrew book known as the Sefer Vayikra, the scroll or the book, and he called the Sefer Vayikra and called Leviticus the handbook of the priest.
Sabbatical study, this I Rastafari sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong.
Shema Yisrael, here.
Chukotai, which means in my statutes, in Jah, statutes, not statues, in Jah, in Hashem, Ha'av, Wa'habein, Wa'ruach, Adosh, Yahweh, Echad. Name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, He will be, we be, the one. And here, Shema Yisrael, give ear. Here we are at the 33rd degree of our Rastafari sabbatical studies for this Shabbat strong. Shabbat bechupotai, Sabbath in my statutes. Senbet besirate. Here we pick up with the third book of Moshe, the Hebrew book that is called Leviticus. Sefer Vayikra, the Orit Zeh Lewawi. And here we complete and fulfill. This is the last reading from the book of Leviticus, the handbook of the priest, of the priesthood, of the kahuna, the kahinet. It's called Bechukotai, which means in my statutes, in Jah, statutes, not statues, in Jah, statutes, ordinances. And the name comes from the first verse of the reading, which begins here. Third book of Moses, Hebrew book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 3. Tishmeru wa sitem otam. If ye trod in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them. If ye walk in my statutes, if ye trod in my statutes. Leviticus 26 and 3. This last reading from the third book of Moshe, the Hebrew book of Leviticus, it promises it's a yea and amen of Yod Hey Wahei Yahweh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hashem, the Holy One, blessed be He, blessed be the name. His baraka, blessings and rewards for Kol Yisrael, the man who sees the true good, the true God, if they and I and we will keep HaTorah, Jah's directions and instructions. But, however, on the other hand, chastisements and punishments and imprecations and curses if they and I and we break the commandments, the imperatives of HaTorah, of Jah's directions, of His instructions, of the glory of His divine majesty. Now, the last chapter discusses the laws, the Torot, the instructions, directions pertaining, rules and regulations pertaining to vows, votive offering, word, sound, valuations, evaluations, and tithes, tithes and tithes. In most years, in the Mikorab, in the gathering together, the assembly called the synagogue, is read the Hukotai together with the preceding portion, Bihar. So here, make I ride up with the Aliyot from HaTorah for this 33rd degree of Ainai Rastafari sabbatical studies here for this Shabbat strong, for Shabbat Bechukotai, for Senbet Besarate in my statutes. B'Sama'ab, Wa'Wilid, Wa'Menfes Kedus, Ahadu Amlak. Beginning off here, Leviticus 26, verse 3, conditions of Baraka, the Barakat, the blessing. Leviticus 26, verse 3. Im bechukotai taleku ve'eta mitzvotai tishmeru wa asitem otam. If ye all walk, trod in my statutes, and keep my commandments, imperatives, and do them and carry them out, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit, and your threshing shall reach to the vintage, and the vintage shall reach to the sowing time, the sowing hour, and ye y'all shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land safely. And here for Shabbat B'chukotai Senbet B'Sarate, here is the Sheni. The Sheni, Aliyah, the Anaphora, the offering up, the Sheni Aliyah, here at verse 6. With Natati Shalom Ba'aretz Usha Kavatem with Aina Macharida with Hisha Batia Hayara Mina Haaretza with Cherebalo Taibora Bi'aretzekem. Here for the Sheni, the second Aliyah, for this Shabbat B'chukotai Senbet V'Sarate, verse 6. And I will give peace in the land. With Natati Shalom Ba'aretz. And ye all shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I will rid evil beast out of the land. Neither shall the sword go through your land. And ye all shall chase your enemies, and they shall fail before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall chase, and 100. And 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemies, your haters, shall fall before you by the sword. For I will have respect to you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. And here at verse 10. Here at verse 10 is the Shalishi Aliyah, the third Aliyah for Shabbat B'chukotai Senbet B'Sarate. Wa akalitema yashana noshana we yashana mipneya chadesh toz sabbatical study, this I Rastafari sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong.
Yes. We have a psalm here, Psalm 58, gonna ride up on that. Here's Master KG featuring Nom Nesebo, Jerusalem, a South African because Kelobedu tune. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, but check it.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami Alikolana, Musowami, Aukolana, Ilonolose, Zuhambenami.
Yes. Let's look at tune right there. Master KG featuring Nom Nesebo, Jerusalem, South African. Some call it Electric Slide. This tune has gotten around the world right here. South African Kalobedu tune right here. Jerusalem, Electric Slide. Yes. From that to this, oh. Yes, Jerusalem, a little rhythm mix right there. So here for this Torah reading and feeding, just a couple of first words and reasonments here. Here we're fulfilling this third book, the handbook of the priest, known as Leviticus, Sefer Vayikra, some say Sefer Vayikra, right? And the cipher, the book, and he called, Hebraically, and the book, and he called, calling out, to the priesthood and the Levites for this sacred service in the holy place in his grace. There's a reason in the Jerusalem metaphysics about chosen and chosen people. So I went and looked it up, and from the verses in the scripts, I see that has greatly been miscontextualized. We had a psalm where it talked about his chosen ones, right? They who he chose. He's speaking about the patriarchs, he chose them. Say Moshe with Aharon, he chose them. But what it speaks about Yisrael more correctly in the proper context, yes, chosen people is mentioned there, but there's a context to that. And in most of the places, it speaks about how Yahweh, how he chose, right? How he chose, and he chose Yisrael, Amo Yisrael, the Beta Israel, to be a treasured people. On the KJV translation, how's it ringing out? Yeah, a peculiar, a special people, a peculiar people. Yeah, the peculiar. Peculiar is a very interesting word. It's segula. Segula. Now we have this, we meet this here in this Torah reading and feeding right here, right? And this is the question of obedience. Bechukotai. Bechukotai. If, I think you have to, but if you walk in my statutes, my ordinances, in bechukotai taleko, and keep and guard and hedge about my imperatives, my commandments, We'eta mitzvotai tishmeru, and do them. Wa asitem otam, wa asitem otam. So here it's a question of obedience. Here, this 33rd degree of Ionized sabbatical study. Our Torah reading and feeding, the sabbatical manna right here for this Shavua, for Parsha Bechukotai, or the portion in my statutes. It is the final portion of the central book of HaTorah. The central book of the 5 books here is Leviticus. And it begins with the yea, and the amen, amen, that if the B'nai Yisrael, the sons of Israel, would walk it out, walk in Yahweh's, in his statutes, his chukot, and his commandments, guarding his commandments, observing the mitzvot, and performing them, wa asitem otam, and doing them, that they then would enjoy even material berkot, blessings, right, as well as, of course, spiritual ones, and dwelling securely, safely in shalom, right, in the promised land, in the land that was promised to them. Moreover, Yahweh Atzmo himself, Jehovah himself, would make his dwelling, right, his dwelling, his mishkan, his abode, his tabernacling with them, and would walk, would trod, even Yahweh himself would walk among them as their Elohim. Amo Yisrael, the people of Israel, would then truly be that Am Segula. Now, Am Segula, as we find it elsewhere in the scripture, Segula is like a possession, a property, something that's valued, a valued property, or a peculiar treasure is how the KJV brings it out, but it's a treasure. We get to the root of Segula, Am, people, Segula, Am Segula. Right? We say Amo, the people of Yisrael, Amo, his people. But this is coming from a word Segula, meaning to shut, like you shut something up, like wealth that is guarded, wealth that is protected. So someplace in the KJV, this word Segula is brought out as jewel, or peculiar, as a peculiar people, a peculiar treasure, right? A proper good, and that which is special. But a sense of like something that is shut up, like you guard something that is valuable, a treasured, right? A treasured people among all the Goye Haaretz, among all the nationalities of the earth. On the other hand, if the people disobeyed Yahweh Elohim, Aina Elohim, and disregarded his mitzvot, his commandments. Remember the advice of Gormawi, Nagus, and the guest. What is the advice about the 10 words of commandments?
My advice to all is to fulfill the 10 Commandments. You are aware of the contents of the 10 Commandments and can elaborate on. If the nation for which I am the emperor follows and accepts this, since it's also what I accept and follow. I would believe our country is not only historically Christian, but also actively Christian.
Wise, slash, perfect, blessed, Messiah.
There'll be blessings, for coach. Alright, so right there, their advice to all is to fulfill. Notice the active word, fulfill. But on the other hand, say they don't take His Majesty's good advice. Yes, if the people disobeyed Yahweh Elohim and disregarded, did not observe, keep His commandments, His mitzvot, then they would be considered covenant breakers, word breakers, covenant breakers, and they would experience all manner of distress and tribulation in their lives and liberty. They would experience panic attacks, diseases, heartache, headache, and all manner of surit, or suri, some say surit, vexation and trouble, anxiety. Their enemies would eat their increase, and those who hate them would rule over them. They would flee at the rustle of a leaf, and their lives and liberty would be full of terror and misery, all because they refused to put Yahweh Elohim first in their lives and liberty. And if after all this trouble, the people, Ha'am, even Amo Yisrael, would still refuse to return to Teshuvah, repent, have a change of heart and mind, and return to Yahweh, the worst punishment of all would befall them. What was the worst punishment of all? Exile, the galut, exile from the land of promise, from their land, and banishment from the presence, the face, the perception of Yahweh Atzmo, of Jehovah himself. Nonetheless, even more, despite their disobedience, Yah's love and mercy for Israel would never fully depart. For it is written, quote, if they confess their iniquity, their moral perversity, and the iniquity, moral perversity of their fathers, of their patriarchs, in their treachery that they committed against me, against I, and also in walking contrary to me, so that I walk contrary to them. Get the midot, mida keneged mida, the measure for measure there. He says, and also in walking contrary, that they committed against him and walking contrary to him. He says, so that I walk contrary to them and brought them into the land of their enemies. If then, their uncircumcised heart. Wow, this is Leviticus, Torah, Leviticus 26, verses 40 to 42. It's talking about uncircumcised heart. So therefore, the circumcision of the heart is important, as it says in the Brit Chadasha. It's right here in HaTorah. He says, if then the uncircumcised heart is humble, and they make amends for their iniquity, their moral perversity, then I will remember my covenant with Yaakov, with Jacob. Notice it said my covenant with them, but he would remember his covenant with what? The patriarch, Yaakov. And I'll remember my covenant with Yitzhak, Abraham, and my covenant with Abraham. with the Hebrew Trinity, the patriarchs, says, I am the Elohei, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. He says, and, get this, and I will remember the land. So the land can't even be forgotten. The land can't even suffer because of the man. And I will remember the land. Here we have Leviticus chapter 26, verses 40 to 42. Moreover, even while we are in exile in Galut, in the land of Zir and our enemies, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Aina Elohim, Hailehim vowed in Leviticus 26, verse 44. What did Elohim vow? Eloheinu, he vowed, I will not cast them away, nor will I ever abhor them to destroy them and to break Beriti, my covenant with them. He says, Kiani, Yahuwah, right? He is he who be who he be, Elohehem. He is he who be their Elohim. So this portion right here for Bechukotai and the scroll of Leviticus, it ends, it fulfills with a discussion of the various Torot, the various instructions pertaining to vows. Get this, vows, votive offering, when you give the word sound, right? Vows, you know what I mean? He says, my strength and my redeemer, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart pertaining to vows, votive, like word sound, right? And to tithes that a person may make to contribute toward the upkeeping of the Mishkan. So this is all voluntary. If ones made vows, word sounds, as well as tithes that they may have made word sounds, like, Yah, if you bless me, I'll bless your sanctuary, right? These include the livication, right, of persons, of animals, the livication of houses, and the livication of lands. The scroll, the Megillah of Leviticus, it fulfills and ends, it's rolled up, so to speak, with the emphatic statement that we have in Leviticus 26, verse 46. It says, these are the commandments that Yahuwah commanded Moshe for the people of Yisrael, Bihar Sinai, in Mount Sinai. Yes,
Why, slash, perfect, blessed, Messiah.
Well, that brings us right here to today's daily psalm. Now, it's interesting. We touched on, what was that? It was Psalm 82. We had Psalm 82, which actually is the third day, called Tuesday, the evening psalm, the standing psalm for that day, Psalm 82. And we see how the corrupt judges were being arraigned. I think in the foreword of that psalm, from the notes that we shared, it spoke about how it's linked in theme and in content to Psalm 58, right? I noticed when in the Yehudi, some of the better scholarship, Torah reading and feedings, when it says that there, I often notice that it links with how the royal order of the Ethiopian Hebrew Psalms be. So if you check the calendar of Psalms, you'll see just a couple of days ago, we had Psalm 82. So right here in the season, reason for the season right here, today's daily psalm.
Here we have today's daily psalm. We have
Psalm 58. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. As a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away. like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a God that judgeth in the earth.
Yes. Take note. The Elohim title, often invoked Hebraically to refer to the Creator, the Almighty Power, and to the Judge. Right, so we have that in this psalm right here. All right. Righteous versus the wicked. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All rise. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session. Where the guilty must be exposed. All rise. Court is now in session.
Yes. All rise. Let's go up to the upper room right here. Today's daily song. We have Mizmor Non Chet, or Nun Chet. Some would enunciate it. Non, Hebrew alphanumerically standing for the number 50. Right, so 50 and Chet, the 8th letter. So here, Psalm 58, Mizmor Nun Chet, Psalm LVIII. And it's saying, unjust judges condemned. So all rise. The psalm here is in session, Mizmor Nun Chet, unjust judges condemned. And we have another psalm that speaks that same theme, Chaverim, the arraignment psalm, Psalm 82. So what do we have here, Chaverim, today's daily psalm? We have unjust judges. Now remember the judges, the shoftim, right, in Hebrew, shoftim, shofet, judge, shoftim, judges, but they are also known and called from HaTorah, referred to collectively as the Elohim, right, as the Elohim. That's the key of Psalm 82. And he said, I've said ye are God's Elohim, in that function of shoftim, be able to carry out Ha-Elohim's word, right, in spirit and in truth. But on the other hand, they were not righteous. They did not walk in his ways. They did not, walk in his statutes and keep his commandments and do them. Therefore, right, they are unjust judges condemned. So what we have here is a vehement denunciation of corrupt judges. This is the theme of this outspoken poem and composition here, Mizmor Non Chet. In spirit, Ruach, in the Irit, it is true to the supreme importance that is attached to the impartial, non-partial administration of justice, tzedek, terdof. It's from HaTorah, where it says the judges, right, and installing them in that function. Tzedek, justice, terdof. Thou shalt follow more better, thou shalt pursue. So there is a supreme importance that is Hebraically, according to HaTorah, and for the covenant people, attached to the impartial or non-partial administration of tzedek. Tzedek is righteousness, like Malkiah tzedek, in that sense, tzedek, by the Pentateuch, 5 books of Moshe, as well as by Ha-Nabim, by the prophets. Quote, this psalmist's fiery indignation against unjust judges and evildoers generally is not kindled by personal wrongs. You know, when somebody is personally wrong, we can understand, right, when they are just hot to fire because they've been violated. So therefore, you know, it's quite understandable. But what we have in today's Daily Psalm is not that sort of a perspective, right? Not so much personal wrongs. Now, why is this a fact and a key factor in understanding the Psalm before we ride up? First of all, to get a good groundation. Well, once again, it says right here, the psalmist, right, and here's a Lidawid of David, or for David. This psalmist's fiery indignation against unjust judges and evildoers generally is not kindled by personal wrongs. The psalm, the mizmor, the chant, it comes hot from a heart that's been lacerated. You know what laceration is? Yeah, a heart that's been lacerated by the sight of widespread corruption. Like go on social media, you know, you see that, it can lacerate your heart. You know what I mean? A point of importance is here made that must be borne in mind when assessing. Let's assess the moral standard. What is the moral standard of the speaker in his imprecations? Imprecation sometimes is like another word for curse, right? Imprecation, right? His imprecations upon the men he censures. This is it. He may forgive injury done to himself, but he has no right to feel lenient toward those who are guilty of flagrant injustice to others. I shared some of the Chabarim before that. You know, sometimes like when somebody, has somebody in their family that has been, say, murdered. And then sometimes you see the family saying, well, like they forgive the murderer. That we find based on the Torah. I understand how people are following in the broad way, but coming to the narrow gate, that right there is wickedness. It's wickedness. And it's based on this principle right here. What principle? The principle that he may forgive injury. You could forgive injury done to yourself. Like, you can forgive, like if you and me been injured by one person and I forgive them, I cannot make you forgive them or say because I forgave them, therefore, I let go of the debt. You can hold the debt in this case, like of an injury. He may forgive injury done to himself, but he has no right to feel lenient. The only person that can really forgive a murderer, right, truly is the victim, right? And this is why, according to HaTorah, we can't really, that's out of our hands. You're sorry, we have to send you forward to the court. You got to go, right? He may forgive injury done to himself, but he has no right to feel lenient toward those who are guilty of flagrant injustice to others. That's a point of principle right there that goes with the essence of, the essence of Torah. So right here, unjust judges condemn, right? Unjust judges condemn. Let's just get a little groundation in the first proper verse, Hebraically. It's the superscription. The superscription that in your KJV Bibles, you'll find it say something like, to the chief musician, al tashit, right? Someone say tashit, according to what's written there, right? Miktam of David. From the Hebraic, right, from the Hebraics of it all, right here. Lamnat Tzeyah, the chief musician. Al Tashchet, Le Dawid Miktam. Al Tashchet. What is Al Tashchet? Al means like not. It's a negation. Tashchet means to destroy. Tashchet is from the Hebrew shachat. Shachat is like to destroy, corrupt, to go to ruin or cause to ruin or decay, sense of decay, right? To ruin, whether literally or figuratively. Now, there's an interesting aspect of David's own narrative within the historical books like Shemuel, Samuel, where, this was said, right? Al tashchet, right? Do not destroy. It was actually, if I'm correct right here, with it was what was the brother's name? one of David's men, when they had got the jump on Saul and his guards were sleeping and everything, one of his men said we could go in and juke Saul. You know, just one time. That's when Dawid, he said, Chai Yahweh, as Jehovah liveth. You know, that was a high thing to say, like Chai Yahweh, like as he who he be lives. Like say, Jaliv Chai Yahweh, like as he liveth, like al tashchet. Al tashchitu. Yeah, don't destroy him. Don't jerk him, don't hit him. Right? So it's interesting that we have this in the superscription. Al tashchet, do not destroy. Right? Here is brought out here in the psalm as perhaps a command to the chief musician, right? Or perhaps some say a title of a melody, like you would say on a certain dub. It's a dub, don't destroy dub. Perhaps on that melody that's used for several psalms. But the Hebrew of it is, thou must not destroy, right? Thou must not destroy. When we actually get into the study of the scripture and tunes of Psalms, we'll see it in that scene, right? In that scene with Dawid and one of his brethren them, when they saw that the guards of Saul were sleeping, you know, the guards would be awake, but they were sleeping and everything. We just go in there. He said, let me just go in there and just juke him one time, be like that. And this is when Dawid said, touch not the Lord's anointed, to him. And he basically inferred by pronouncing, the Chai Yahweh as Jehovah liveth, almost like to invoke, like I won't say swear, but on that level, is that if you juke him, I will juke you. If you kill him, I will kill you. He said, even though Dawid was Messiah too, in the sense of anointed, right? He still had reverence for Yah, and he told his man to stand down. So we have this here in that part, al tashchet, they have it as tashit, whatever in the English, but al tashchet, right? Do not destroy. It was a miktam. Miktam is like a technical term found in, psalm titles. Some would say the meaning is somewhat uncertain. Some say it comes from like an engraving, right? Technically like a poem, right? But what we have in the root of miktam is katam. Some say it's ketem. Ketem is like fine gold. So this is why sometimes it's translated as a golden composition. Miktam from ketem, but from the verb katam, it means to be stained, to be defiled, deeply defiled. But the idea comes from to carve or engrave, like a carving, to inscribe indelibly, right? So it's often brought out that these are like special psalms to impart some moral wisdom. So here, this is what we have in the superscription, which is often counted, right, Hebraically as the Aleph verse, right? Then it goes on to the second verse Hebraically, the first proper verse of the KJV, to say, do y'all indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do y'all judge uprightly, O ye, y'all sons of men? So once again, tashchet, do not destroy, a golden miktam, le Dawid miktam of David, a golden psalm composition from the ketem, miktam from the ketem, right? The ketem sense. So here, let's pick up, going into the grace period of this podcast, this broadcast right here. We have today's daily psalm that KJV-wise has 12 verses, Hebraically. KJV-wise has 11 verses, right? In the Hebrew, it has 12 verses. So here to the KJV, what will be the first proper verse, including the superscription, La natsayach al tashchet, LeDawid miktam. Ha'umnam elam tzedek atdabarun, me sharim tishpetu b'nei adam. Bringing it out as, do y'all indeed speak as a righteous company? Do ye all indeed speak? Ha'umnam elam tzedek atdabarun. Do y'all judge with equity the sons of men or the sons of Adam? Me sharima tishpetu b'nei Adam. Do y'all indeed speak? Now, when pronouncing judgment in a suit, When pronounce judgment in a suit, pronouncing the judgment. Ha'umnam, ha'umnam. Interesting, ha'umnam, right, has a sense of umnam in the Hebrew. Like, is it really true? To say ha, the, definite article. Umnam. Umnam means verily, indeed, truly. Umnam. It's like a part of speech. Like somebody says something, say umnam, omnam, omnam in some dialects, omnam, omnam, umnam. Ha'umnam, is it really true? Is it surely? Is it for real, for real? You know, verily, no doubt about it, indeed. So here, ha'umnam, for real, for sure, right? Elam, here is silence, can be brought out as in silence, elam, silence, like mute justice. See, the sense of this psalm here is like mute justice, right? In some places, that this psalm here is brought out as congregation. But these judges, the shoftim, that later on are arraigned in Psalm 82, right, who are called gods, Elohim, because they ruled on behalf of Yahweh Eloheinu. But at this point, they were unjust and they were corrupt. So this is being spoken to them, right? This is being spoken to them. Ha'umnam elem, tzedek, justice, tzedek, rightness, what is right, righteousness. So as, you know, Vaughn Benjamin and Give Thanks, Ra Seymour said, you know, right choiceness, right? Right choiceness, that which is right, the natural right, the moral right, even the legal right, you know, that which is righteous, right? Or that which is just, right? Do y'all indeed, right? Do y'all speak righteousness? Are y'all really speaking what is just? Is your judgment, right, to the suits that you judge over just judgment? Or are y'all really partial, right? You haven't been non-partial as your role and responsibility by having that high calling, right, upon you to judge in the ways of Yahweh Eloheinu and to be referred to collectively as Elohim. Are you really fulfilling that, you know, to whom more is given, more is required? Ha'umnam elem tzedek tedaberun. Are y'all speaking? Tedaberun, from dabar, to speak. Tedaberun. Now the answer that's implied here is no, low. Do y'all indeed speak as a righteous company? Or in the KJV sense, do y'all indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? But see, the Elam, not to go deep in this right here, the Elam is interesting, right? We have Elim. Elim would be rulers in Hebrew. Elim, rulers, right? But when it's vocalized as Elam will be silent ones. Elam will be silent ones. So what do we have right here? Ha'umnam. Is it true, Elam, in silent tzedek, silent justice, right? To daberun, are you speaking some silent justice here, right? Some silent righteousness? In other words, you're not pronouncing the idiom brings out the sense of when pronouncing judgment in a suit, are you pronouncing what is tzedek? Implied answer, the answer implied is low, no. As a righteous company, right, or righteousness, O congregation. If you look at the KJV, they put a comma there. But when you read it the Hebrew way, there's another way this can be brought out. The translation of the obscure word Elam. So this has two pointings for two different words. That's why vowels matter. Elim is rulers, like power ones, like ones that have a power. Elim. And then Elam is silent or dumb, the sense of mute justice. So the translation of the obscure word Elim by company, right? Some bring it out as company, others bring it out as congregation. But in the Hebrew, this is like rulers. Do you all indeed speak righteousness, O rulers? The judges, those who are the rulers, and this is speaking to Israel, right? Speaking of amongst our own, right? So this is like a self-judgment, because in the David incident, David was on the run because Saul was slandering him. And there was a lot of proof that he wasn't guilty of what he was accused. But everybody went along with it. So you can see the context here of today's daily song. Has to do, right? Do y'all indeed in silence speak righteousness? So the sense of it is like, do y'all indeed in silence, right, speaking righteousness? Because you're witnessing this wrong that is going on? Where's all the judges and the rulers of Israel that can even tell the king that, yo, you overreach, Shaul, that David is not guilty of these things, and stop hunting him down to kill him. Haumnam elem tzedek tadabarun, meisharim tishpetu. Meisharim, the Meishar, that which is upright, Yashar, Meisharim, Tishpetu, from Shafat, to judge. Tishpetu, are y'all judging, right? B'nai Adam, the rank and file, everyday man, B'nai Adam, right? The children of Adam, general man, right? They are silent when they ought to speak words of condemnation. And Garmawi Negus Neges spoke these words too, you know, concerning the voice of justice, of tzedek, that matters most. Garmawi Negus Neges speaking on that, it reflects this first opening verse when properly, right, understood and understood. But right here, to the bait verse, or to the second verse right here we have it. Let's bring out the Hebrew. It says, Af belay olota tif alun ba'aretza Hamas yidekem tifaleisum. Yea, in heart your work wickedness. Yea, in heart your work wickedness. Af. Now, af is a particle. I said particle in Hebrew. It's like umnam, haumnam, for real, haumnam. Right? Af here has a sense of yea, though so much more, like furthermore, indeed, af. Right? Its meaning is like an accession. Right? It can have a yea, like a kind of a yea sense, like af, like yea, like or yes, af, belayed, in heart, olot. What is olot? Olot, right, is injustice. Olot is injustice, unrighteousness, wrong. It can even be violent deeds of injustice. It can be injustice of speech, or even here, olot. And olot is like a kind of in a plural. It brings out plural sense. Singular is like evel, or evel, and avel, and awla. Right here, olot, in the plural sense, like injustices, right? This injustices. In heart, your work, right? Wickedness, your work, wickedness. Af believe olot, tif alun. The word to work is pa'al, right? It has a sense of to do, to make, and anyone who studies Hebrew grammar can understand. This word is different than the word asa. Asa can mean to do, to make. Right? But this word, pa'al, right? Tif alun, pa'al, fa'al. The difference between these two words that both can be interpreted to make, to do, is that the other one, to make, is like you make something, you do it, right? I'm not saying one time, but you do it one time. This word has more of a sense of tif alun, right? Of systemically, habitually, especially in the sense of to practice. So a more better is like, yea, in heart, your practice injustices. Af, believe, olota, tif alun, pa'al. Your way the violence of your hands in the earth. This is how the KJV brings it out. Your way, right? But the Hebrew is kind of like, it's a reverse order here. It's ba'aretz, in the earth, more better, in the land. Ba'aretz, in the land. Hamas. Ain't that interesting? Hamas. Ba'aretz, Hamas. In the land, Hamas. Right? In the land. What is Hamas? Hamas is violence. The Hebrew word Hamas, violence. Hamas, wrong. Hamas, cruelty. Hamas, injustice. It's a weird world, ain't it? Right? Violence, wrong, right? But in a metonymic sense, it's like unjust gain. It can also be unjust gain, can be Hamas. So Hamas can be the overt violence and wrong, but always that's kind of connected with unjust gain. They say filthy lucre. But ba'aretz, in the land, Hamas. See, when we say in the earth, it kind of like almost spooks it out from the actual context of what was being said. Ba'aretz, they're talking about something that was happening in our land. Ba'aretz, in the land. Ba'aretz, Hamas. Yedeikem, Yedeikem. Yedeikem from the yad, hand, right? And here, your hands. Yedeikem, your hands. Tifalesun, Tifalesun. Tifalesun come from palas, falas. Falas, or sometimes pointed as palas. Tifalesun means to weigh, to make level, to balance, right? To make smooth, the sense of properly to roll flat. So getting to tifalesun, right, is saying like they flatten out, you weigh out, you flatten out in the land the violence, right, the unjust gain of your hands, right? It's like when you prepare a road, falas, it has that sense, also to revolve, right? But get the word, weigh is not the usual word for weigh. You think there's a weigh on a scale. But the word weigh here, Hebraically, from palas to falesun, right, is to weigh mentally, to weigh in mind. So see, when we say the Hebrew, we get those nuance. Your weigh, but you're weighing in mind, right, the unjust gain and the violence and justice of your hands, right, in the earth. You know, you're weighing out, you're trying to flatten out, smooth it out, you know, trying to, look at what's going on in the world. In hearts, y'all work wickedness, even in our name, ain't that? As Beit Yisrael, Israel, ain't that something? Scheming to pervert the course of justice. Scheming and dreaming to pervert the course of justice. Af. Notice the af, believe. Yes, in heart. It's saying, yes, believe in heart. Olota. Tif alun. Tif alun. You practice injustice. So the more force of it is not that you just work wickedness, but you in heart, your practice injustice. Your practice scheming to pervert the course of justice. Your way out. Like to say mentally, right? Let me be weighed in a just balance. Job said this, right? Let me be weighed. He's saying to his friends because they were coming back at him, let your mental weighing of what I'm going through, right, be a proper scale because like they were biased against him. So he says, let me be weighed mentally in a just balance. Job 31:6. Scales, the basic idea of scales are an instrument for what? What are scales basically? To weigh? No, really to deal fair, to deal proper dealing. For proper dealing, you order a pound, you should get a pound. I should probably put a couple of grams extra, right? When you order a pound, you should get a pound. Scales are an instrument for fair, for proper, for right dealing. But these men employ them for the purpose of doing violence, right, to the innocent. In the land, your hands are violent. Right here. Second verse once again. Af belay olota tif alun. Ba'aretza Hamas yideikem tifalesun. Here to the Gimel, third verse right here. Third verse. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born. As soon as they be born. Speaking lies. This is interesting. People often say, was somebody born this way or that way? I don't know. You know what I mean? But just think about it for a moment, what this verse is saying here. The wicked are estranged from the womb, right? The wicked, we say the rasha, the criminal, the guilty, also in the basic sense of the defiant ones, right? Zoru, rishaim, may rachem. From the what? From the womb. May from rachem. The rachem. Like rechem, the matrix, the womb. From the rechem, right? May rachem, from the womb. Zoru. What's Zoru? Zoru come from Zor. Remember the strange fire? It was a Zor Aish, right? Estranged, to be strange, a stranger fire. But Zoru, the root word the root sense is they turn aside. Zoru. Zor, to turn, Zoru. They turn aside. It's like if you're traveling somewhere and you're like, let's stop over here just for the night. It's like that's the sense, to be a foreigner or a stranger. In that sense, to be profane. But specifically, in the active participle sense of the Hebrew, it has a sense of to commit adultery. You know, that you go astray, right? You go astray off of the way. So what's being said here? Zoru, right? Like they swerve, they're strange. Rishaim, the Rasha, the defiant ones, the wicked ones, or the guilty ones. May Rachem, they are estranged from the womb, from the matrix. They go astray. Ta'u. Right? They go astray. They Hebraically they ta'a. The root verb sense is to err, to wander, to go astray, to stagger, right? To wander about physically, like intoxication, like an intoxicated person. They ta'a, right? Sin, sin ethically. Also, wandering of the mind is ta'a, right? So whether by drunkenness, right, or by being misled or causing to err mentally or morally. The root idea of ta'a in ta'u, they ta'a, they vacillate. The root idea to reel and stray. They reel and stray. Almost just, think about a drunken man for a moment. Ta'u, mi beten, right? As soon as it says they go astray, mi beten, from the belly, right? Interesting here, right? I'm looking at this. As soon as they be born, the word beten, in the Hebrew, it doesn't have yalad, the yalad root. It doesn't speak about born in that sense of born. It's actually from the belly, right? From the belly, right? It's like from the belly, dovrei kazab, the speakers of lies. They go astray from the belly. Speakers of lies go astray, reel to and fro from the belly. All right, that's what it's literally saying right there. Not that they, as soon as they be born, right? As they be born. There's no they be born there in the Hebrew, right? It's actually from the belly. Mi beten. Zorua rishaima meya rachem. Ta'u mi beten. Dovrei chazab. Dovrei, the speakers of chazab, of lie. The speakers of the lie. Dovrei chazab, the speakers of lies. The wicked, Risha'im, right, from Rasha, to be defiant, to be criminally guilty, are descriptive of these corrupt judges. So it's actually not just speaking about the bad people of the land. No, it's talking about the judges who are supposed to uphold tzedek, justice and righteousness. They are the ones who zoru or Risha'im, Mei Rachem, from the matrix. They are estranged from the principles of equity that should control or manage or moderate the exercise of their authority from the womb, from the matrix, me rachem, from the belly, mi beten. They were born with this inclination. Hebraically, we call it the yetzer, the inclination, hara, to the evil, to the hurtful, to the harmful, to the bad, right? They were born with this yetzer hara, this inclination to evil, to hurt, to harm, to bad. And it has become ingrained in their nature through repeated exercise. See, that's interesting when you work and breaking down the word, understand the difference between the two words that commonly are translated as to make, to do. One of them, right, has a sense of habitual practice, on and on. Practice. So here, the second verse, Zoru Rishaim Mei Rachem. Ta'u mi beten. Dovrei Chazab. Dovrei. Speakers of Chazab. Chazab. Right? That's the word for lie. Chazab. The Dovrei Chazab. Here to the fourth verse right here. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. Right, is according to the likeness of a serpent, like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, like the deaf ass or adder that stoppeth her ear. Oh, here we're at this verse right here. We're at the fourth verse. But let's just note this: the first verses 1 to 5, this opening section is where Hashoftim, the judges, the corrupt judges, are arraigned. Similar to this goes along with Psalm 82, right? 82 right here. But here in this fourth verse, Hebraically, it's the fourth verse. Well, in the KJV, it's the fourth verse, in the Hebrew, it's the fifth verse. But not to confuse ones and ones right there, but I have to go back and forth right here. Their poison, right, like the poison of a serpent. Chamat lamo. Chamat lamo ki demut chamat nachash. Como feten. Cheresh yatem azno. Yatem azno. Another way of bringing out this verse is their venom is like the venom of a serpent. Chamat. Chamat. Chamat from chema. Chema from ham. Ham means hot. Chema, hot, rage, indignation, right? In the sense of heat, from ham. Ham, we have chema, chama. Here we have chamat. This is like, say, a poison, like from a fever. Like where fever, that heat, that anger, figuratively it's anger, poison, that can be linked with a fever, right? So it says chamat lamo, the hamat for them, right? The hamat for them, kia demut. Ki demut has a likeness, a demut, a likeness of the hamat nachash. So it's almost like the anger for them has a likeness of the anger of a nachash, or the anger of the nachash. Nachash is the Hebrew for serpent, even in the Gan Ba'eden sense. Chamata lamoa kia demuta chamata nafesh. Right? They are like the deaf adder. Kamo, and like it fetin. They are like the deaf adder. Now, fetin or petin is a snake, a venomous snake. Some say it could be a cobra or adder, right? But it comes from the word fetin in the Hebrew that means to twist. Therefore, it's linked with the asp. Why? Because the asp goes through its contortions, it twists, right? It twists and it turns. So the fetin, the root sense in Hebrew to twist, kamo fetin, as the twisting one, right? Or to say as the asp, cheresh, right? Cheresh in the Hebrew is to be deaf, cheresh to death, whether literally, right, or spiritually, cheresh, right? Cheresh. So like the asp, cheresh, ya'item, stoppeth. Atam is to shut, to close. Atam, like you shut or stop the lips, to atam. Also the wicked stopping up their ears, using the Hebrew in the figurative sense. So the atam here in ya'item is like that they close the lips and the ears, from the Hebrew analogy to contract. It's kind of interesting because also the serpent, if you notice, the serpent also goes through that contraction before it's about to bite, right? So just the levels of the Hebrew, kamo feten cheresh, ya'item azno, right? Azno, its ear, is azin, right? It's ozin, right? Azno, right? So here, some translate as her because the entity. It's interesting right here. The entity, right? Let's go right here to the word "ask" for a moment, just to confirm this. Well, in the Hebrew, right, it's both of them are males, right? The serpent and the adder. It's kind of interesting. In some other languages, sometimes they bring out the her aspect, but see that as it is, because some are there, so some are him and her, right? Like Lucifer and Luciferia, Satan and Satana, right? Their venom, the words which fall from their lips are deadly, like a snake's poison, or like what's known as the chamat from heat. The heat for them, the poison, the fever for them, chamat lamo ki demut, is like chamat nachash, is like the chamat, the poison, the heat, right? Like the deaf ass that stoppeth her ear, is translated as, according to the voice of the charmer, against the voice of the charmer, as we have in Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 17. So these judges are deaf to the whisperings of conscience. So the interesting sense right here is that these judges here, right? These judges here are, it's like the serpent, that conscience. It's a deeper aspect here, but let's just go to Jeremiah just to get a basic build. Jeremiah, the quote, when I get that quote, Jeremiah 8, right? 8 and 17. Jeremiah 8 and 17. What does it read? Kabarim. 8 and 17. Here we go right here. For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you that will not be charmed. You get that? He says that I will send serpents and cockatrices among you that not charmed, that won't be charmed. You won't be able to charm them. And they shall bite you, saith Yahuwah. Right? So look at this kind of connection right here, even today's daily psalm. So these judges are deaf to the whisperings of conscience. Right here, to the 5th verse for this opening section of today's daily psalm, verses 1 to 5. The judges are arraigned here in verse 5. Right here, verse 5. That will not hearken, that will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wise, that's KJV, or be the charmer never so cunning, or ever so cunning. Even if a charmer is very cunning, is good at their craft, still can't get, the message. They're shut down to. Here, the Hebrew, right here. Asher loa yishma likola me lachashim chober chabarim me chukam. Interesting right here. Some pick up on it, the chabarim sense it right here. Who, right? They who hearken not to the voice of charmers or the most cunning binder of spells. The most cunning binder of spells. I notice right here. I notice in the Hebrew Sefer Tehillim, very good copy right here, that they don't have anything for the 6th verse. The 6th verse is an interesting verse. Let's just touch on it momentarily right here, right? So from the verse before, their venom is like the venom of a serpent. They are like the deaf ass that stoppeth her ear, her ear, who hearkeneth not to the voice of charmers or of the most cunning binder of spells, right? Asher lo, one who Asher lo, not Yishma, who don't hear. Asher, one who don't hear, call to the voice. Call is the voice, the sound. We say the sound, right? Of charmers, right? Here we have lachash. Lachash, the verb root is to whisper. Lachash, to charm, to conjure, right? But it has a sense more like whisper, right? Whisper. The root idea is whisper, but then by implication, it's like to mumble a spell, right? As a magician, right? But the sense of it is to whisper, and here in the plural sense that whispers together, even in their conscience, all melachashim, right? Melachashim, the charmers, or to that voice that's whispering, right? It says chober, right? Chober, right? Here we have chober, charming. Chabar means to unite. Let's break that. Chabar means to unite. We've got chabarim, right? To join, to unite, right? That first sense, the root sense, to join, chaber, specifically by means of, right? In the next sense, by means of spell, is to fascinate, to charm, right? It's an interesting sense, like to join, to fellow, kind of to fellowship. So here where it says chober is like charming, right? Chabarim, of the charmers, chabarim. The cheber is like an association, a company, a shared association, society. In the other use, it can be a magician, a charmer, and even a spell. So when you look up the root of this, it's like a society, right? And it also can be like a spell. It can be brought out as a company or as enchantment. Well, how do we know which one? Because it's based on the context here. But it's an interesting context right here, and this is one of the reasons why, in some of the Sefer Tehillim, they reason on this a lot, and hopefully we can reason on this more, but they don't really bring forward the notes, right? Chober chabarim mechukam. Mechukam. Mechukam is wisely, hakam, to be wisely. The word never is not really there, right? So more better would be that the ones who will not hearken to the voice of the charmers, charming charmers, wisely, wise, charming charmers, even ones who are trying to bring, even what David is saying, even this psalm that he's chanting right here, they're not going to even listen to this, all right? Because there's a wise use of word sound being brought out right here. So here to this verse, that first section, verses 1 to 5, the judges arraigned, right? And what's interesting is that the next verses are not really given a theme, but they're taken kind of on a one-by-one basis right there. They're there. Before we get up with that, a little Rhema tune here, today's daily song, Mizmor Non Chet, unjust judges, false grudges of the land condemned.
Psalm 58. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. As a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away. Like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a God that judgeth in the earth.
מזמור נ"ח למנצח אל תשחט לדוד מכתב. האומנם אלם צדק תדברו, משרים תשפטו בני אדם. אף בלב עולות תפעלון, בארץ חמס ידיכם תפלסון. זורו רשעים מרחם, טעו מבטן דוברי חזב. חמת למו כדמות חמת נחש, כמו פתן חרש יאתם אוזנו. אשר לא ישמע לכל מלחשים, חובר חברים מחוכם. אלוהים הרס שינמו בפימו, מלטעות כפירים נטוץ אדוני. ימאסו כמו מים, יתהלכו למו, ידרוך חיציו כמו יתמוללו, כמו שבלול דמש יעלו. נפל אשת בל חזו שמש, בטרם יבינו סירותיכם עתד, כמו חי כמו חרון יסערנו. ישמח צדיק כי חזה נקם, בעמיו ירחץ בדם הרשע, ויאמר אדם אכפרי לצדיק, אך יש אלוהים שופטים בארץ.
And here, picking up. Now, this section here, I'm going to give a superscription of the last 6 verses, which brings out from the overview the imprecations, or even we could say it's the judgments that are being requested upon these and those corrupt judges right here. Picking up with verse 6, KJV wise. Break their teeth, O God, O Elohim, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh, Elohim. Herasa shnemo wabefimo malateota kferima netot Yahweh. Oh Yahweh, break their teeth. Break their teeth, O Elohim, in their mouth. Elohim. Remember Elohim, creator, the creator title. But also in areas of judgment, we see that there's a focus on Elohim because the whole context of Elohim in the Hebrew understanding. Elohim, Heras. Heras come from Haras, like the root Haras here, Heras. You tell somebody to break, like to tear down, to break down, to overthrow, to beat down, to break through, to destroy, to pluck down, to pull down, to throw down. This is the sense here, but it has a more forcible sense, pull down, or the sense of break in pieces, break, destroy. So as a command here to the judge of judges, Elohim, Heras, Shenemo, right there, right, Shen, right, Shen, right, Shen in Hebrew is like tooth, Shen in Hebrew is ivory, right, tooth, ivory, right, tooth, ivory, has a sense also of sharp and ivory, like in the figurative sense of cliff, but in this context here, Herasa Shenemo, break, right, pull down, break, Shenemo, Bifimo. Remember before he's talking about the serpents. You have to understand the context here, not isolated, but flowing along right here. Here, seen with the serpent, right, seen with the ass, right, Elohim, Herasa, Shenemo, Befimo, Infimo, Fi, mouth, Fimo, their mouth, Befimo, in their mouth, Herasa, Shenemo, Befimo, break their teeth in their mouth. Oh, Elohim, break their teeth in their mouth. Break out, right? Here, break out the great teeth of the young lions. Oh, Yahweh, right? Break out, right? The teeth. Now, it's interesting because actually it begins off right here. And see the word break out, right? The teeth right here. Malta'a, Shane is tooth, is teeth, and ivory, shane, right? Like the Hebrew letter sheen, right? Sheen. Here we have Malta'a. Malta'a is the tooth, the great tooth, like the incisor, like in animals, the incisor teeth, like the grinder teeth, to say like the back tooth. So here where it says Maltaot, their incisor teeth, their grinder teeth. Maltaota Kafrin. Kafrin is from Kafir. Kafir is a young lion. Kafir is a young lion. In Hebrew, the word Kafir, usually a young lion, but also Hebraically can refer to a village. The sense of it's covered in by walls. Also in the context, it's like a young lion as covered with a mane. So the young lion covered with a mane and a village covered over or covered in by walls. So it has this kind of a dual sense of village and young lions. In the context here, young lions, the Kafirim, from Kafir, a young lion, Kafirim, the young lion, Nitots. This is the verb here, Nitots. So in the first part, the verb was at the front, right? Heras, right? To break, pull down, Shenemo, Befimo. In the second part of the verse here, Malteot, the great teeth, like the grinder teeth, the incisor teeth, Malteota Kefari, the incisor teeth of the young lions, Nitots, Yahweh, Nitots. So here we have Nitots from Natats. natat, he broke, he pulled down, he break down. The root sense is like to tear down, right? To tear down, right? So one is to pull down, right? You know, the teeth in their mouth, and here the great teeth, right, of the young lions, right? Nitot, Yahweh, oh he who be who he be. Render them incapable of doing harm, right? Render them incapable of doing harm. This verse here focusing, we could say, focusing on the teeth, right? Elohim haras shnemo befimo. Ma'ot kafri nitot Yahweh. Nitot, the command there, nitot Yahweh, right? Pull it down. Render them incapable of doing harm and hurt. The young lions, kafrim, the kafrim are here for the ferocious enemies, right? None is more ferocious than the young lions, the kafrim, right? Break out their incisor, you know, the incisor teeth. But here, to the 7th verse right here, today's daily song, right, to the Zane verse right here. Here, make them melt away as waters. So here, these verses going forward are like the judgment verses. Make them, because it's a request here, it's an ask. Make them melt away as waters, running continually. When bendeth his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. If you look in the KJV, it has a lot of italicization, which when his bow to shoot is italicized, not really there in the Hebrew, right? These words, reading around them, make them melt away as waters, run continually. He bendeth his arrows. Let them, make them be as cut in pieces. Here, bringing out the Hebrew. Yemasu kamoa mayima yitahalaku lamo yidarok chitzayo kamo yita molalo chitzayo kamoa yita molalu. Here, make them melt away as water that runneth apace. So here we have the sense of make them melt away as water that runneth apace. Yemaisu kamo mayim. Yemaisu. All right, from ma'as. Ma'as has a sense of to reject, despise, refuse. The secondary sense is like to run, to flow, to spurn, to disappear. The idea is like run off water, right? Yemaisu kamo, like that, mayim, like waters. Kamo mayim, as water. Yitahalaku, that goes almost to and fro, lamo, right, for them. It's an interesting kind of a context here. He is thinking of the bed of the river. So putting the words from the Hebrew context, Yemaisu kamo mayim, Yitahalaku lamo, brings out the sense of a bed, right, of the river, right, that rushes in a torrent during the rainy season, but then dries up, right, in the summer. It dries up in the summer. Yidarok chitzayo, Yidarok from Darak. Darak means to try, to bend, to lead, to march. Derek, remember, Derek is way. Derek, the way, right? Darak, the verb, means to tread, right? To walk, right? But also Darak in the Hebrew can mean to string a bow, like bow and arrow, to string a bow, by treading on it in bending. So you tread, if you know about like the bow and the arrow in the ancient, you tread on it by bending. So what he's really saying here is like when he aimeth his arrows, make them be as though they were cut off. This is the sense. So Yidarok, right, is like Yidarok chitzayo. Yidarok, he is treading chitzayo, his arrows, his chaitz is arrow, chaitz is an arrow or a missile, a piercer, an arrow, a missile. In the implication, a wound, figuratively of Elohim like a bolt, like the shaft of a spear is a chet. But in this context is the missile known as an arrow equal a missile equal an arrow. Yidaroka chitzayo kamo as that which yitamalalu from mul yitamalalu comes from the root mul means to circumcise. Yitamalalu is a hitfa'el. It's like they're doing this to themselves. They are circumcising, they're cutting themselves off. Yitamalalu. So even while they tread up that chet, that arrow, they let it be cut off, let it circumcise itself when he aim it. This is the more probable translation, meaning when one of these Rishaim, these ratchet defiant men, shoots at an intended Vic, may his arrows be blunted and become harmless, right? Circumcise them in the sense, a more forceful sense of cut them off. Right here to the eighth verse of today's daily psalm. The judgments here, the imprecations, as a snail melteth, make pass away the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Once again, we're avoiding the italicizations. We don't need those crutches, right? As a snail, they say that melteth. Then it says, let every one of them, the more forces make, pass away the untimely birth of a woman, they may not see the sun. It's just to give one's a rawness. Kamo shablul temes. Ya halok. Nefela esheta bala chazu shames. Bala chazu shames. That would not see the shamesh. That would not see the sun. Make them be as a snail. Shablul. Shablul is the snail. Shablul, as if floating in its own slime. Right? The snail is as if floating, kumo, as if shablul. Right? A snail or floating in its own slime. Right? We have temes. Temes right here is dissolving temes, melting away. If you see a snail, how the snail looks, like it's melting away, right? Here. May them be as a snail that melteth and passeth, right? And passeth away. Ya helok. So that melts, temes, ya helok, that passes. So it's like it's melting and it's going away. Like almost like as the shablul is moving along that slime trail. But make them be like that. Kamoa shablul temesa yahelok. Nefel eshet. Fall, woman, bal chazu shamesh. So the sense here is like an untimely birth, right? Untimely birth. The word for untimely is nefel. Nefel from nafal. Nafal means to fall. Nefel is like an untimely birth, an abortion, or a miscarriage. Something literally, nefel is something that is fallen, or in our way of understanding, an abortion, or in the poetics of the KJV Bible, an untimely birth. So right here where it says nefel eshet. So the untimely birth of a eshet, a woman, bal chazu, that will never ever chazu. Chazon is to see, right? Chaza is to see, to perceive, even to prophesy. Bal chazu shamesh, that will not see the shamesh. So which melteth and passeth away. Actually melteth, passing away. Temes yahelok. Right? What do we have here? This is alluding to the popular belief that the slimy trail, some used to believe that when he saw a shablul, a snail, that slimy trail that the snail leaves in its track is the dissolution of its substance. So let them be just like that. Untimely births, the nefel, speaking about stillborn, right? Children, right? But not cursing people that have that, but it would have been better if these ones were never born. It kind of brings out kind of a Job You remember Job, a kind of a Job sense right there. But on to verse 9 right here. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as a whirlwind, both living and in wrath. Both living, right? Both as living as wrath. Both as living as wrath is more of the Hebrew force of it. Bit rema yabinu sirotekem atada kamo chaya kamo harona yisareinu. Here bringing out the sense of before your pots can feel the thorns, he will sweep it away with a whirlwind, the roar, right, and the burning alike. Some bring out the roar, the high, right? High means living, but high can also mean fresh water, flowing water. High, lively, active man. High, reviving of springtime. When we look into the Hebrew, it also has a sense of green, that which is green. You know, when something grows green, you see it's living, it's alive, it's fresh. Like it's fresh in that sense. So the high, right? The high, right? As living, kamo high, kamo haron. And as haron. Haron is anger, heat, burning. This is always used, the haron is always used of Yahweh's, of his anger, of his, you could say, sore displeasure. Right here. So what do we have here? Before your pots can feel the thorns. This is derived from what happens in the desert, where the traveler gathers thorns as fuel to cook his food. But a dust storm suddenly arises that scatters them before they burn up sufficiently. That's what it's saying, basically. It's like in the travelers in the wilderness, you know, you got all these thorns together, but a dust storm just takes everything away. The high, kamo haron, both the raw, the green, the living, right, and the burning, both that which is almost like the cooked and the uncooked food. The Hebrew is variously explained as referring to the raw and the partially cooked food, or to the raw meat or raw substance and the burning thorns. Or another way of bringing it out, that the RV brings it out, as the green and the burning alike of the collected fuel. Bit rema yabinu asirotekem atad kamo chai kamo harona yisareinu. Here to the 10th verse right here. Fulfilling today's daily psalm. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, of the ratchet. Yismach, happy. He will be happy. He's happy. Yismach, tzaddik, the righteous person. Tzaddik, the righteous one of creation. Tzaddik. Yismach, tzaddik, ki yachaza nakam. Te amayo wa yirachatza bidama harasha. Bedam, in the blood of Harasha. Another way of bringing this out right here is the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. When he seeth the what? When he seeth the vengeance. Yismacha tzadika ki chaza. Ki, when chaza, when he beholds, sees, even prophetically to see, ki chaza nakam. The nakam. The vengeance, which is the retribution, may Elohim Yahweh Eloheinu. Wash his feet. What about this? Wash his feet, right? Yirchatz, right? Put amayo. Pa'amayo is not really his feet, but his steps. Pa'ama, his stroke, like a stroke, a feet, a foot, right? It's interesting, the footfalls, the stroke, right? Almost like a beat, like a tap. But it's connotatively like his footsteps. He will wash his feet, his footsteps, bedam, in the dam, the blood harasha, the blood of the wicked, wash his feet. The language must be judged as the Eastern, the Oriental hyperbole, a hyperbole. And of course, this is not to be understood literally, right? Wash his feet in the blood of the ratchet. Right, the blood of the ratchet. Remember, blood was always very sacredly regarded with the offerings and with man, but in this case, there's no blood for them. So trot on. Pa'amayo yechatza bedam harasha. Here, to bring it right here to the fulfillment verse right here, today's daily psalm, Chabarim. So all of this is so that a man shall say, verily, for real, a reward for the righteous. Verily, for real, he is an Elohim that judgeth in the earth. Right? There are fruits. There are rewards. Hebraically, there are fruits. Yomar, and he will say Adam. And an Adam, a man will say, Yomar Adam, Ak. Ak, as we mentioned before, is an interesting particle right here. Another particle expression, indeed, for sure. Howbeit, only, for sure. Surely, Ak, only, Ak. Not Ach. Ach is brother. Ak is like an affirmation. So I say Ak, yeah. So here's what it said right here. Yomar Adam, Ak, Pri, for sure there's Pri, fruit. Ak, Pri, Las Adik. For sure there is fruit, Las Adik, for the Adik, for the righteous one. Ak, for sure, Yesh Elohim. For sure, Yesh, there exists, there be Elohim. There be the Elohim. Yesh, there exists, there is. Yesh Elohim, there is Elohim. Elohim exists. Ak, Yesh Elohim. Shoftim. Get this right here. Shoftim is in the plural like Elohim. This is key. Ba'aretz, in the land. Where Yomar Adam, Ak Pri Las Adik. Ak Yesh Elohim Shoftim Ba'aretz. As man, Adam, shall say, verily, for real, for sure, there is fruit for the righteous. Reward is what they translate, but actually literally pari, fruit. There's pari. There is pari las adik. There is fruit, right? There is fruit. Even in the harvest time, there's fruit. There's fruit for the righteous. Verily, Ak, Yesh Elohim, Shoftim, there's the Elohim. There's the judges, actually the judges that judge, Elohim Shoftim Ba'aretz, in the earth, in the land. A reward for the righteous in the ultimate triumph of good over evil, of right over wrong, Blessed be Garmawi Nagus Neges. Yes, that judges, Shoftim. There's the Elohim Shoftim Ba'aretz, as is Elohim, but Bashamayim in the heavens, there is for sure Ak, there is Yesh Elohim Shoftim Ba'aretz. Now, the verb here is plural. Usually when speaking about Yahuwah, the verbs are always usually singular, even though Elohim can be construed as plural of powers, or some say gods. But here, it's unusual with Elohim as a subject, which means that truly there are righteous judges, that Yah will raise up righteous judges that will judge in the earth. Right here, outro here. Shalom, Chabarim, shalom.
All right. Psalm 58. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. As a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away. Like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a God that judgeth the earth.
מזמור נ"ח למנצח אל תשחט לדוד מכתם. האומנם אלם צדק תדברו, משרים תשפטו בני אדם. אף בלב עולות תפעלון, בארץ חמס ידיכם תפלסו. זורו רשעים מרחם, קעו מבטן דוברי חזב. חמת למו כדמות חמת נחש, כמו פתן חרש יאתם אוזנו. אשר לא ישמע לכל מלחשים, חובר חברים מחוכם. אלוהים הרס שינמו בפימו, מלטעות כפירים נטוץ אדוני. ימאסו כמו מים, יתהלכו למו, ידרוך חיציו כמו יתמוללו, כמו שבלול דמש יעלו. נפל אשת בל חזו שמש, בטרם יבינו סירותיכם עתד, כמו חי כמו חרון יסערנו. ישמח צדיק כי חזה נקם, בעמיו ירחץ בדם הרשע, ויאמר אדם אכפרי לצדיק, אך יש אלוהים שופטים בארץ.